everyone, my name is Angelica Jacqueline from Information STEM Student Program. So in today's practice session for the object-oriented programming, I will explain my project, a simple calculator program that applies the basic concept of OOP using the Java programming language. So the main goal of this project to help us to understand how the classes, objects, and methods work together to make a program more structured, reusable, and easier to maintain. So now let's move on the practical explanation of how the program works. So to start the project, the first thing we need to do is creating a class, the contents, all the mathematical operation. This class is named Operasi Matematika. It acts as the logic class or the brain of our calculator because it handles all the calculation that the program needs to perform. So I will explain the Operasi Matematika. In this class, I create the 5 main methods: add for addition, sub for subtraction, mul for multiplication, div for division, and mod for the modulus. So each method accepts two numeric, two parameter, and returns the result. So for the example, add method simply returns the sum of two numbers, while the div method is also include a small condition to make sure we don't divide by 0. And I also use decimal format to make the numeric result more readable and clean. So this class doesn't take any input or show any yet. So it only perform calculation, and later this class will be called the main class to process the number and entered by user. Okay, so after finishing the first class, we can continue the main part of the program, so which is where we actually connect everything together. So next we create the another class named main calculator Java, which is the main class of this project. So this class will handle the input, output, and also call method from the first class. Okay, so the main class I start using by scanner and library, so the program can receive input from the user, and here the program asks the user to enter the name student, ID, and course name, and 2 number. Then I created the object, the first class, using the class using the line is Operasi Matematika to Operasi Matematika to the new. Through the object, the program can access all methods that we wrote the first class, and for the example, the user entered the number, the program will call operasi at angka 1, angka 2. The calculate of the sum and similar line for subtraction, multiplication, and division and modulus. Finally, the program prints the result. This is the result, and in a well formation so that user can clearly see the outcomes of their calculations. So once everything is done, the scanner is closed. If there is no error, the message will successfully. So this is the output appears, which means the program ran perfectly. So now that both classes are completed. So let's see how the program actually work when we run in. Okay. Okay. First, I put my name in here. Okay, when the program is executed, it first asks the user to input the personal data and two number. Okay, I will put my data, my name, and my student ID. Okay. Okay. I will put 10 in here, and the second number I will put 5. Okay, so this is the result. After entering the all required data, the system will display the result of the 5 mathematical operation is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. So this is the example of the output. So the appraise of the boiled successful at the end indicates the code is correct and program executed smoothly without any syntax or logic error. Okay, so that's how the program works, from creating the operation class to connect it through the main class and finally displaying the results. Now, I like to share my reflection of this practical experience. Through this practical work, I learned how object-oriented programming (OOP) principle can be applied in the real Java program. By dividing the code into separate classes, the program becomes organized and easier to develop. So the exercise also helped me to understand how objects interact each other, how database between classes, and how handle error like division by zero properly. And overall, this activity strengthened my understanding of Java programming and taught me the importance of writing clean, structured, and readable code. And so thank you so much for listening my explanation of my OOP project. So I hope it's clear and useful.